We are analogs, you and I. We are not God. We are not his equals. We don't know what God knows the way he knows it. We have a different kind of theology. God has archetypal theology, and we know that exists, but we don't know what's in it. We have what the Reformed called ectypal theology. E-C-T-Y-P-A-L, ectypal theology. And it just means we have an analog of God's theology. It's like God's theology, but it isn't God's theology. And so by definition, we cannot know what God knows, and certainly we can't know it the way he knows it. The great Reformed theologian Franciscus Junius, who died in 1595, who in 1595 was a very big deal. You may not ever have heard of him, but he was a terrific and very influential Reformed theologian, and he wrote a very important book, the title of which is A Treatise on True Theology. And it has a biography, and that's available from Reformation Heritage Books at heritagebooks.org. It's in paperback, and it is $19. And it's a marvelous volume. Highly recommended. Maybe we'll talk about that more later on. So Franciscus Junius argued that there are two kinds of theology. As I was saying, theology as God knows it, and theology as we know it. Junius, by the way, and Arminius corresponded. Arminius was just a kid, and he was kind of a pest. And eventually, Junius got tired of it and sort of told him, well, that's enough, young man. So tragically today, everybody knows Arminius's name, but not many people know Junius's name, or Unius, probably better. Right? In English, we would say, I guess, Junius, but in Latin, in French, his name is François Dujon, but in Latin, it's Franciscus Junius is what I should say. At any rate, he was kind of a big deal at the end of the 16th century, early 17th century, and he distinguished between theology as God knows it and theology as we know it. Our theology is, when it is true theology, and analogs of God. And so you can think of it this way. We are not God, we are image bearers, according to Genesis 1:26, and several places in the New Testament. In the same way, I think, for example, of Colossians 3:10, in the same way, our theology is not God's, but it is like his. There's no mystery for God, but there's mystery for us.